So I'm Micha Werner, and today we're here in a course talking about floods and droughts. And you may ask, why are we talking about both these extremes? Floods, too much water, as well as droughts, too little water. What's interesting in the context of climate change is that we see the climate is changing, and we often talk about an increase of temperature, like 1.5 degrees, as agreed in the Paris Agreement. But what is important to society that it's not just the change of the average, it is also the change of the variability. So we see that as a consequence of climate change, we are having more frequent floods, but at the same time, more frequent droughts. And this is a challenge that society has to address. How do we manage not just floods and droughts, but floods and droughts at the same time? To deal with climate variability, this increase of floods and drought events, a key strategy is early warning. As the Secretary General of the United Nations has said, we should not be surprised anymore by these extreme events. So early warning tries to give information to people to act on time, to prepare themselves for a flood and drought. But this is challenging, because do we trust the weather information that we get from the television or from the news or from an official ministry, for example? And this is one of the main challenges that we are now approaching in research. Scientifically, we have advanced a lot in recent decades in being able to predict the future weather 3 days ahead, but also, for example, for agriculture, in the next 6 months. The question is, if you receive such information, do you act? Because acting is crucial to reduce the impacts of extreme events. So current research is exploring how we combine the knowledge of people, for example, farmers on the ground, or people who live next to a river, with the scientific information. Because experience shows that when we can combine these two knowledges, so working with social scientists as well as with physical scientists, to combine these knowledges, then the response to early warning is much more effective, and we can increase societal resilience against extreme weather events that are increasing in frequency due to climate change. Well, as society, we're very much part of the equation. Of course, everything we do, let's say the energy that we use when we drive cars, when we turn the lights on, to some degree this contributes to climate change, because it contributes to the greenhouse gases, which have an important role in the warming of the Earth. But there's also other things that we have to do, because on the one side we should reduce our energy use, but we should also learn to adapt to a changed climate and increase climate variability. So sometimes we have to say, okay, due to the climate there are certain things that we will not be able to do. So we have to change our behavior as a consequence of the climate. And it is also my belief that we should start to think in a different way, that we always want to be normal, be the average. The normal should be that we live with climate variability. In dry years we do other things than we do in wet years.